To speaker, participants, and delegates. I am Mayank Singh, Assistant Professor in Department of Dairy Technology on the behalf of Parul Institute of Technology, Parul University. Welcome you all to the webinar. I am immensely pleased to introduce you Dr. Abul Kalam Azad, the speaker for the today's webinar, who is working as Assistant Professor in Department of Agricultural Sciences, GD Goenka University, Gurugram. Dr. Azad has pursued BSc in Agriculture from CAU with MSc and PhD from NDRI Karnal with specialization in agricultural extension. He has published various high impact research, review, and popular articles, and also recipient of Best Paper Award various times. He is a secretary founder of Kisan Society. So, with this brief introduction, I invite Dr. Abul Kalam Azad sir and hand over the proceeding of webinar to him. Please, Abul Kalam Azad sir, please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your warm introduction. And I'm really very thankful that you have invited me as a guest speaker in this today's webinar. I'm really honored. So, sir, may I know who are the participants of this in this webinar session?
So the webinar is open to everyone, students, and delegates, and everyone. So it is just live on the Facebook also. So it is open to everyone.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, dear students or different stakeholders, I extend my heartiest welcome to all of you on advances in organic farming. Actually, today I will be discussing on what are the different techniques are there, advanced methodologies, then strategies are there, what are the means present status are there in organic farming, and also that all I will be discussing. So, let's share my screen. Hello. So, as the Dr. Mayank sir has said, a brief introduction has been given by him. So, once again, I am very much thankful. So, my topic will be today's topic will be advances in organic farming as a development strategy, current status, and opportunities for future development. So, before we understand these advances, what are the advanced techniques in organic farming? We have to know a very basic thing about organic farming. What is the meaning of organic? Until and unless we know the meaning of organic, we can't understand, we can't go further. So, my first discussion or my first point will be what is the meaning of organic? So, if we see the organic farming is nothing but it's a method of crop and livestock production that involves much more than choosing not to use pesticides, fertilizers, genetically modified organisms, antibiotics, and growth hormones. So, in short, we can say that excluding the chemical components. If you are growing anything, maybe livestock or maybe plant, but you have to exclude the synthetic chemicals, the chemical compositions. Then only you can say that it is organic. If you use chemical, then it will be not called as organic. So this is the first point. Organic means you just exclude the synthetic chemicals. Now, if not synthetic chemicals, you know that the synthetic chemical has a good role in improving the plant growth and development. So, if not this chemical, then what could be the possibilities? What could be the approaches, or what could be the components? So, let's see what could be the components apart from these this means chemical things and all. The first component is the green leaf manuring. if we want to go for, or if we want to cultivate organic crops or organic livestock feeding and everything and all, then first we have to go for this first component. This is green manuring, then crop rotations, then biological management, animal husbandry, that means excreta or whatever the byproducts of animals are there, that we can also use. Then biofertilizers, not fertilizers, fertilizers may be biotic and means bio, and then chemical one. So here you exclude the synthetic one, it is bio, that means we have to use the biofertilizer. Then manures, the vermicompost. So these are the components of organic farming. If not synthetic, then we have to go with this. If we want to cultivate something, we have to go with this component. Now, another important issue is that why this organic farming is a big issue now? Why not earlier? Or it is today only conceptualized, or before it is conceptualized? If we see the history, it is not a new concept. The organic farming it's not a new concept. It is we can trace the evidence of organic farming in our Vedas. So it is this organic farming is a long back process. However, the popularization was not there. That's the main issue. Now the popularization has been means popularized this concept because of various issues, health issue, environmental issue. Due to that, this organic farming is means gaining a momentum. So here, why organic farming? We should go for organic farming. What are the benefits? What will be the advantages if we go for organic farming? So here I'll be telling some of the points why we should go for organic farming. See, already if you see this earlier, means in the year of 1950 59 to 60, the global fertilizer consumption was 72 million tons. But if we see the today's statistics, that is nearly about 208 million tons in the year of 2020. अभी हम लोग 2000 मीन्स 208 मिलियन टन्स कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं fertilizer, that using for various crop production purposes, maybe cotton, maybe sugarcane, or maybe wheat, various way we are consuming. So due to the heavy use of chemical fertilizers in our soil environment, what happened? The soil condition, it's deteriorated. That means disturbed. We have disturbed the soil environment. And if disturbed, and also due to the disturbances, various toxic chemicals out of the air, water, soil are coming up. So in order to control or improve the soil health, we have to go for organic farming. This is the main, you can say that, reclamation, you can say that. If we want to improve our soil health or environment or related things and all, we have to go for organic. Then we have another statistics is that out of 718 districts in our means India, most of the districts you will find they are means affected with heavy metals, maybe arsenic, silicon, iron, heavy metals. So that chemicals, that metal, heavy metal also creating so many problems for human being, for crop production, or for even microorganisms. So whatever the living things are there, they also create problem for that. So obviously, if our soil health is not good, the production and productivity will be less. So this is the points here. Toxicity, again, due to that, the ACN in if you see the maize, then lathyrus also, some of the toxicities are there. So this metal, heavy metal, also act as a agent, as a promoter for enhancement of that chemicals. BOA, and in lathyrus, BOA is there. Then in maize, ACN is there. So that also means create a problem. Then the second point, why organic farming is required, then builds healthy soil. As I said, the soil health already disturbed, the production and productivity is reduced. So in order to again rebuild or re-improve the condition of soil, we have to go for this organic farming. Another important issue is that not only that due to the chemical use and all, another important point is the monocropping. We used to go for monocropping in many parts of India. We are following a same pattern. We are not going for crop rotation. We are not going for any other methods. In the same year, same place, we are repeatedly cultivating same crop. So if we cultivate a similar type of crop every time, then that is called monocropping. So due to that application of single crop or due to the cultivation of single crop, the soil health also get disturbed. So again, in order to maintain the soil health or build the nutriently enriched soil, we have to go for organic farming. Then feeding the soil with the organic matter instead of ammonia and other synthetic fertilizer has proven to increase nutrients in produce with higher level of vitamins and minerals found in organic food. See, another important point is that third important point is that why this organic farming is required. Promotes eco-friendly biodiversity. You know, always we are quoting one sentence that once upon a time there was a dinosaur species was there, but now it is not available. So why? Because of maybe environmental changes, maybe some other factors are also associated with that. But thing is that we have to think for eco-friendly way, means sustainable agriculture. So we have to follow here. In this way, a good farm must be one where the native flora and fauna have lost acreage without losing their existence. That means in our field, micro in a soil environment, various flora and fauna are there. Some are beneficial, some are harmful. So that biodiversity, eco-friendly biodiversity, should be maintained, and it is possible only when we go for organic farming. And this an organic farm is the equivalent of reforestation. If you go for if reforestation means again growing of more or less the same kind of forest, then we have to go for this organic farming. Promotes eco-friendly or eco-friendly biodiversity. Then if we go for this eco-friendly biodiversity, what will happen? The energy savings will be there. Now the price of petrol is 100 rupees. So we means the scientist, where ICR scientists, even other line department scientists, they are working a lot to work on that, and even they are also working hard on biodiesel, which is coming out from the sugar cane. Biodiesel, Jatropha, these are the biodiesel biofuel plant. So they are also working on that. It is a sustainable approach so that the minimum use of fossil fuel is required. Even CNG, you will find that in Delhi, CNG, even many metro cities, they are using instead of petrol diesel engine, they are using CNG engine, say CNG buses. Why? Because in order to reduce the pollution, in order to go for eco-friendly biodiversity, flora and fauna, we are going for that. Then it has certain principles. Organic farming also have some principles. And what are the principles? The principles are the health, the principle of health, the principle of ecology, the principle of fairness, and principle of care. So these are the four principles on based on that the organic farming, we are following organic farming. So, principle, if you see the health, it may be the health conditions of microorganisms, or you can say that the human being, or you can say that soil, then ecology, the balance, the relationship between this environment and human interactions, or living or creatures. Then fairness, it is also the sustainable use, ताकि हम लोग अभी जो मिनिमम यूज करके फ्यूचर के लिए बचा सके. Sustainable agriculture, if we consume everything today, then the next generation will suffer tomorrow. So that is the point here, we should go for fairness. Then care, utmost care is needed if we want to preserve our upcoming generation. We have to have very much take care about that situation. And resources also, as the resources is very scarce, very limited resources are there. If we consume today, then tomorrow will be very difficult. So that's why the fourth principle is saying that we have to go for means friendly. We have to go, and we have to also think for future purpose, and whatever the minimum input, maximum output. In that scare is also we have to follow that approach. Minimum input, maximum output. So these are the four principles of organic agriculture, or you can say the organic farming. We have to work on that. Now, if we see about the present status of organic farming, what is the present status? It is it means it is at initial stage, or where we have gone till now. If you see, the many country have adopted this organic farming, because organic farming it's means a clear indication is that if we don't follow this organic farming, then वो दिन दूर नहीं कि सब हम लोग खो देंगे. It is maybe flora or fauna, soil health, all these things will be means extinct. So this present status of organic farming, if I talk about, presently the total area under this organic farming worldwide is 57.8 million hectare. 57.8 million hectare worldwide I'm talking about. And in India, it is only 1.5 million hectare, 2.5% of this 5.7578. So it's a very, you can say that very means number is very less. 1.5 billion is million hectare is very less as compared to this 158. However, if you see compared to other countries, it is good in numbers. And global share of organic farming, if we talk about the global share, then Asia 8%. Since the Asia 8%, then African countries they are 3%. European countries 25% they have land under this organic farming. Then South America 13%, and this Oceania is 45%. Then North America 6%. So this is the global statistics of cultivation of organic farming, or the land under this cultivation organic farming. Then if we talk about India alone, forget about Asia, forget about Africa or North America, South America, forget Europe. If we talk about India alone, then it's a good. In India also we are gaining momentum. The farmers are adopting. Even many high-tech farmers, many high-tech things are going on. They are also following 100% this organic farming and all. Then this as of now we have 6.5 lakh organic produces. If you talk about the organic produces, that means what are the product commodities producing under these organic methods and all approaches. It is nearly about 6.5 lakh organic produce are there. Then 700 these processors and exporters in our India. 700 exporters are there who are totally dependent on exporting organic fruits or vegetables or whatever, maybe you can say that. Then in India, that is 72000 hectare under cultivation. This is a huge number as compared to other country in India or in Asia. And then India produce. If we talk about India, this organic products, certified organic products. Forget about uncertified. If we talk about only the certified organic products, then it is 1.35 million tons according to the data 2015 and 16 National Institute of Organic Farming and all. So it is 1.35 million tons certified organic products are there. And this organic farming, it's not only limited with to fruits and vegetables, even fiber crops also. If we talk about in fiber crops, that is cotton, jute, all are also cultivating under this organic because huge demands are there. Huge demand is gaining momentum everywhere because of health issues, environmental issues, all are nutrition issues, food national means nutritional security and all. The people are means loving or attracting to this organic farming, organic products. And Then this 2014 to 17, this is the data I'm telling that 2015, this this India ranked first. And this in the year 2017, if we talk about the area, total area, it's extended to 22.5 million hectare, lakh hectare, sorry, it's a lakh hectare. So the people, the owner, the cultivator, the farmers, they are cultivating, they are growing crops under this system, under this organic farming system. Why? Obviously they are getting some benefits, they are getting some monetary benefits, and even they are also, their soil is improving, their productivity is increasing. That's why they are following. If not, then why should, if it is a loss business, then why one should follow this organic farming and all? Obviously it is gaining, means giving high income, high these opportunities to the stakeholders or entrepreneurs to earn good handsome money and all. That's why they are falling, and area also expanding. Then organic farming, another myth is that organic farming, only people understand that growing of crop, only crop is means come under the domain of organic farming. It is not. This is a myth. Even animal husbandry also we can means produce organically. We can farm organically. Animal husbandry. So if we talk about some statistics about animal husbandry in the organic way and all, then organic animal husbandry is around 7.2% billion dollars US. If you talk about the US, then 59 US billion dollars of total organic product business. It is the data of 2016. That means organic animal husbandry had done a business of this 59 US dollar billion dollar business. That is 7.2%. So huge. This is a huge market of milk and milk products, or even the other byproducts of animal. And globally, if we talk about this, Argentina is the largest exporter of organic beef. Organic beef. So why, how this organic beef are producing? It is not like that. See the slaughtering house say that animal have to, before that reach, that animal reach to the slaughterhouse. We have to rear that animal organically. Then only. Otherwise, not. The fodder, the everything we have to, the treatments, everything we have to go for organic. Then only we can say that it is organically beef, or organically means products, meat products or milk products and all. Then another thing is that in poultry sector also we can also produce this organic way. Organically we can produce egg also, egg farming, poultry farming also can be possible. So if we talk about the largest organic egg consumer is in Israel. Israel में सबसे ज्यादा एग कंज्यूमर, ऑर्गेनिक एग कंज्यूमर है. और अगर हम लोग इंडिया में भी फॉलो करेंगे इन ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इन इंडिया, then obviously we have a good tie with Israel. We can directly export to this country and can earn huge amount. Then this cheese, France and Italy export organic cheese. This cheese is prepared with milk. So if the animal is organic, then milk will also be organic, and from that organic milk, the organic cheese we can produce, and we can transport, we can export to other countries, and we can get a huge amount of money. And if we see in India, Sikkim is the first organic state in India, and it is notified in the year of 2015. I think recently Uttarakhand or Himachal Pradesh also designated as organic state. So this is a very good question for we people, that which is the first organic state in our India, and it is Sikkim. So you must know that. Then what are the opportunities? So this is all about the present status of organic farming. Then if we see the opportunities in organic farming, the land size, the land under cultivation of organic farming is increased. Obviously there will be some benefits, otherwise not. Then even the farmers also getting good, that's why the farmers are going for organic farming. So these are, we can also count as opportunity. Then poultry sector, then animal husbandry sector, fisheries, all we can go for this organic farming, and it will give a huge amount of money, employment generations will be there. Then this means various things will be there. So opportunities on organic farming, let's talk about what are the opportunities in organic farming. According to this IFOM, this is an apex body. If we talk about in terms of organic farming and all, this is International Federation on Organic Farming. So this federation has given significant role in addressing two of the biggest and most urgent issues. So this organization federation said that basically the two issues are there in present context. One is climate change, another one is hygiene, food security. So this, we have a great importance. This organic farming has great importance in this two dimensions. So the first dimension, as I said, climate change, then hygienic food security. And climate change, it is not like that means uh, ki abhi thing is that always it will be hot. Always there will be a rising of temperature. It is not like that. In somewhere maybe the temperature will be very high, mercury level will be very high. In some parts it will be very cold. So both. So if any one of you are understanding that this climate change means only the rising of temperature, it is not. So both. In some other place, the variations of weather variations will be there. The shifting of weather climates will be there. So that is climate change. Then hygienic food security. Hygienic food security, we are means consuming a lot fast food, then various chemically prepared or cultivated vegetables we are consuming. Due to that, various health issues are coming up. So in order to protect from that diseases, lifestyle diseases or any other kind of diseases, we have to go for this organic farming. Chemical free consumption of should be there in order to get right from that diseases, lifestyle diseases. So let's talk about climate change, how we can see if climate change will be there, temperature change will be there, shifting of temperatures will be there. Then if shifting will be there, then obviously the normal condition will be disturbed. The normal temperature or normal functioning of a living being will be disturbed. So if living being disturbed, then there will be a problem. Mortality will be there. Then what we have to do that a first point under this climate change is that a conservation perspective. Conservation perspective means ecological sustainability should be there. There should be a balance between flora and fauna. If due to the change of temperature there is a disturbance between the flora and fauna, then ecological balance will be disturbed. And if ecological balance will be is disturbed, then we are also will be also disturbed. The nature will play his own game, and it will be very difficult for us to control the nature. So that's the point here. Then under that conservation perspective, soil fertility stability. Already we have disturbed a lot our soil due to heavy use of fertilizer, chemicals, pesticides, weedicides. We have disturbed our soil environment, soil health. So in this aspect, it's a great opportunities for us to reclaim, to go for reclamations or do something for improve the soil health. And for Punjab and Haryana, is that Punjab they are using a lot of chemicals, fertilizers, even pesticides also, even cotton crop also they are using a lot. Due to that heavy applications of organic synthetic chemicals, we have lost our soil. Then for your kind informations, I have seen that even I have also read in some articles that from Punjab, one special train is going on to Rajasthan. Cancer patient, only that train is taking cancer patient. So why this the cancer patients are more we can see in Punjab and Haryana? It is because of this chemical. Maybe they have infected or maybe affected with the chemicals. That's why they consume chemicals, and that happened. That means problem happened. Health related issues happened. Not only cancer, even various problem skin diseases also may arise due to that toxic metals, consumption of toxic metals or chemicals and all. Then the third point, sorry, second point is that biodiversity conservation. In this also we have a great opportunity. Biodiversity conservation. If no biodiversity is there, only one diversity is there, only one thing is there, जहाँ भी जाए एक ही पौधा मिलेगा इन्वायरमेंट में या फिर पूरा इंडिया में पूरा वर्ल्ड में, so that will not look nice. So even this will be means very problematic है. अगर एक ही plant species या फिर एक ही वो रहेगा things materials, that will be very difficult. Then the third point is that carbon sequestration. That means carbon. We are see oxygen. We are consume means this taking oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide. Sorry, we are means the plants is also this oxygen release करता है, consume करता है this means carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is the prime, you can say, the responsible for rapid rise of temperature. The rapid rise of temperature, carbon dioxide is one of the good means stimulator, you can say that. So if we control that by various way, by planting some carbon sequestration plant and all, then it will be very helpful. And even we can also if we go for this carbon sequestration and all, then we can also get a good yield. Suppose about 10 to 20 kg per hectare maize we can get. Then again, in terms of wheat, 20 to 40 kg of wheat per hectare we can achieve if we go for this method. Then another issue is that regarding opportunities, I'm telling you that economic sustainability. Economic sustainability. One is a conservation perspective. Another one is economic sustainability. The economic, see the demands of due to this due to this lifestyle, people's lifestyle and all, various issues are coming up. Health related issues are coming up. So this the people are now finding alternatives. They are finding alternatives diet, balanced diet. And if an organic entrepreneur provides this organic certified fruit materials or food materials and all, then many people are ready to purchase it. So even they also can export it. So by this way, exporting or selling in the market or those who are means health conscious, selling to them, the farmer can earn a good amount. And another thing is that employment will also be there. If you are going for organic, because organic farming is require labor, you can't go alone. Organic farming, so many processes are there, so many techniques are there, so many manual works is needed for go for organic farming and all. So you will be giving employment. If you are going for organic, obviously there will be some employment generations will be there, and income generations, obviously it will be there. Apart from income generation, employment generations will be there. However, we have to face many challenges in this. The organic farming, going for organic farming, especially in India, it's not easy. Some problems are there, some challenges are there. We have to mitigate that challenge. And what are the challenges? Poor resources. We don't have so much infrastructure. That in that program Atmanirbhar Bharat agricultural infrastructure development fund, this government is taking initiatives to enhance to mitigate the this resources, poor resources and all. So poor resources is one of the major challenges in our area. Then another thing is that small and marginal farmers. See, our land per capita land availability is very less. Our land is fragmented. Our farmers are marginal, small. So due to that, organic farming, it's quite difficult. So if we go for means group wise, suppose several FPO, suppose FPO is a farmer producer organization. If we convert that small farmers into a farmer producer organizations, and that through that farmer producer organization, if we go for cultivation of these organic products, organic produce, then it will be very good. The farmers will earn a huge amount. So this is the second challenges we are facing in India. Then the third challenges is that certification of organic farm. Suppose you have an organic farm and you want to do the certification. So there a good technical knowledge is required, because you will not get a, suppose आज एक सीजन में लगाना बंद कर दिया, केमिकल यूज करना बंद कर दिया, सो अगले साल आप बोलोगे कि ये मेरा तो ऑर्गेनिक है, ऑर्गेनिक फार्म है. दैट इज नॉट. अगर persistency level, if you see the persistency level of chemicals is very long. कुछ कुछ केमिकल्स है 70 साल 10 साल तक जमीन के नीचे रहते हैं. So if that chemicals are there, then how can you say that it my produce my farm is organic? At least three years is required. So certification is one of the challenges. Getting certification is not easy. Then the fourth challenges is that social acceptance. Acceptance. Our population is very huge in number, and out of that, how many people are interested in accepting that product? Obviously, the cost will be very high in organic productions. Cost will be very high, and then this farmers, the small farm, even the poor people, the BPL families, even poor people, APL families, it will be very difficult for them to purchase this organic fruits, vegetables, or whatever produce are there. It will be very difficult for them. अगर अगर एक बैगन अगर कॉलीफ्लावर सपोज जो कन्वेंशनल वे में कल्टीवेट किया, उसको अगर 10 रुपए में मिल रहा है, एंड अनदर वन इज दैट ऑर्गेनिक, द कॉस्ट इज 50 रुपीज per kg. So our Indian people now, our people will purchase that 10 rupees one, because if you see only 6,000 per capita income is there. Per person per capita income is in our India, it is only 6,000 something. So it's very difficult for one person to manage that high cost of vegetables and all. So obviously they will go for conventional product, which will be very less in cost and all. So social acceptance is it's another challenge. It's not. However, in other countries, their social acceptance is, the gap is very less. But in our India, the social acceptance gap is very high. So this is another challenge there. Then development strategies. What are the development strategies? What the Sarkar is, how the Sarkar is tackling all these things, how the Sarkar is giving subsidies, how the Sarkar is promoting organic farming. So here, this development strategies, that Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana is there. The Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, the NDA Sarkar, the Modi Sarkar is trying a lot. And they also have announced that every farmer to get rupees 20,000 per acre for production and distribution of produce. If a farmer produce organic products and all, then every farmer to get this 20,000 per acre. Then again, creation of better link to the market and certification of organic produces. Under this Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, they are also creating a market linkage. Then 10,000 cluster to be formed, covering 5 lakh acres area under these 3 years. They also have set a goal that 5 lakh acres under this Atmanirbhar Bharat Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, they will extend this much land under the cultivation of organic farming. Then 50 or more farmers to form a cluster of 50 acres of land to take up organic farming. So they are promoting a lot the organic farming under this flagship program. This government is trying a lot, even also ready to give subsidy. Then another राष्ट्रीय कृषि विकास योजना is there in 2007 में शुरू हुआ. agriculture infrastructure development, Krishi Sichai Yojana, many Yojana are there. Agricultural, many schemes are there in agriculture sectors. They are promoting agriculture. And other way you can also promote that agro-tourism. The promotion of promoting organic farming to agro-tourism. This is another good strategy. Through this, we can attract these people. We can attract consumers. Then professional branding is required. Professional. If I want to be a successful organic entrepreneur, then professional branding should be there. Then only the people will accept my product. Then quality package leveling. It is quality packaging should be there. You see, the Amazon is packing a law means very nicely. Whatever you will order, the Amazon company will pack very nicely. So this way we have to, even they also leveled it very good way. So that professionalism, that quality packaging, leveling should be there. Good services should be there. Then only you will be success or we will be success and all in that. So this is all about this organic farming. Hello.
Yeah, I thank you. Okay, Dr. Awal, I thank
Yes, sir.
you for giving such a nice talk. And in this talk, I believe that it is going to give a remarkable effect on the participant, and surely it is going to motivate the participant from inorganic to the organic side. Also, you have clarified the different myths about the organic farming, the use of the biofertilizers, soil health, environment, then the different government policies, challenges. So I hope that this talk that you have given is going to be a thing which the participant will surely like and will like to share among the other people so that they could change their lifestyle from the inorganic to organic side. And also I thank you for sparing your time for us. I know that you are having very busy schedule. You are working in different NGOs, different projects you are having, and recently you have got a project of some of amount 10 lakh rupees, and you are hardly working on that. So I really thank you for
Thank you, sir.
giving your talk. So finally, giving the closing remark, I thank the speaker, Dr. Abul Kalam Azad sir, and all the active participants for patiently attending the webinar. Finally, thank you to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, sir. You can leave, sir.